Okay, so we're going to read the book about the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan. One of the doctors of the law came up to him and said, "Master, what must I do to have everlasting life?" Jesus answered, "You must love God with your whole soul. You must love your neighbor as yourself." Another asked, "Who is my neighbor?" Jesus answered with another parable. He said, "A man went along on the road that goes from Jerusalem to Jericho. Some robbers beat him up, robbed him, and left him for defeat. In a little while a priest came passing by. He saw the injured man, and he pretended not to, and he went on his way. Then a Levite passed by, one who worked in the temple and should have had compassion on someone who was suffering. He too pretended not to see him and went on his way. Finally, a Samaritan passed by. He was not a Jew. In fact, Samaritans were enemies of the Jews, and the injured man was a Jew. The Samaritan saw him, stopped, and knelt down to help. He put medicine on his wounds and lifted him on his donkey. He carried him to the nearest inn where he could recover. He had to move on because he had some urgent matters to take care of. He gave the innkeeper some money and asked him to take care of the injured man. He told him, "If you spend more on him, I will repay you on my return trip." So Jesus said to the doctor of the law, "Well, according to you, who was the neighbor of the injured priest, the Levite or the Samaritan?" He answered, "It was the Samaritan who showed him the most mercy." Jesus answered, "Good, then go and do the same." I'm going to have Isaiah tell us a little bit about this story.
So there was a man traveling along the road. Then robbers attacked him and took everything, including his clothes. And they hurt him, and then a priest walked along the road, but he kept walking on and didn't help the man. And then a worker walked along the road. He did the same thing as the priest, left him there and didn't help him. And the Samaritan walked along, and then he helped him and bandaged his wounds. And then he brought him to an inn, and then he said he will pay him again when he comes back or needs money.
Okay.
They call people who help other people Samaritans or Good Samaritans. They call them that because I think it's like being nice and neighbors. That's what they told us in Superbook.
Oh, being a good neighbor to someone even though you may not know them, right? Right?
Yeah. And also, the man that was called a Samaritan in the story, the Good Samaritan, or he was also from Samaria. So that makes sense. He's a Samaritan from Samaria.
Well, say goodnight, guys.
I lost my first tooth.
And how old are you?
8.
And when did you lose it?
February 4th, 2017.
How much did you get?
$16. Night, everybody. And bye. Tyler and Isaiah.